People are driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. The hiring process can be slow and overwhelming. Simplify hiring with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform. With over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. That's Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Terms and conditions apply.
I had never flown first class ever in my life.
No, me neither.
Got upgraded and went, you know what, Wilson? I think we're on to something here. Mm-hmm. Mark goes, I'm in.
Well, the only thing that wasn't great about it, I didn't get sat by my date. We both got moved up, but there weren't two seats. Mm-hmm. So I got sat by the guy who had the headphones in, and he sang like this all the way home.
Yeah.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Seat 2C. I thought I just heard Bob Seger playing on your iPod. Yeah, Night Moves. 6 million copies of that album he sold. Recorded the song with some of the Silver Bullet Band and then some with the backing of the horns and such down in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And he said a lot of time, even if you got experience as a songwriter, you'll record songs, you don't really know what the hits are, you don't really know what the lead single is going to be, except for Night Moves. He said, as soon as we wrapped that one, he said, that's a hit.
Did he?
He did.
I'm moving to the back of the plane.
Oh, surprised with a little bit of rain on the way in this morning. Paul said he got a couple of showers moved through last night. They said we can get some rain through about 7 this morning. 49 degrees downtown, only going to see 58 today. See what the radar says here. I got nothing showing on radar. Hold on, my app is unlocking additional features.
Yeah, that was a surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we got a little more coming from just southwest of us. That's good. We'll take it.
Yeah. It rained over the night at my house a couple times, 2-3 times during the night. So it's fine with me.
You had wondered yesterday if they knew what percent of the ballots were in already, and they had a story on it today.
Oh, yeah.
Find that here for you. Montana has received nearly 18% of all the absentee ballots 2 weeks from Election Day.
Wow. That's good.
Saw quite a few pictures. Not surprising me, a lot of my Facebook friends went to see Tim Sheehy last night for his rally.
In fact, last night, I woke last night to the sound of thunder. How far off? I sat and wondered.
Just to be clear, so your music stuff is good, and mine makes people change seats on a plane?
Mine was weather stuff.
Well, then let me get you something else that'll cheer you up. Harvest rates close to average for opening weekend of antelope season in southeastern Montana. At Hysham, they checked 131 parties or 215 hunters. Harvested rates include 114 antelope, 96 bucks, and 18 does. Folks, if you've listened to Paul for any length of time, you know his policy is to shoot the moms.
Shoot the does.
But everybody wants the bucks.
Yeah.
But 70% of the bucks harvested were more than 3 years old.
Oh, that'll be good eating.
Boy, for a meat that's not very succulent, there's a lot of people that take a lot of time, effort, and money to go hunt them every year.
But they never show a picture of them holding up the stakes, do they? Or the back straps?
No.
Nope. They hold their horns up.
Yeah, that's right.
No, we hunt. We eat it. We hunt for the food.
Mm-hmm. Well, and this year you don't have to hunt for the meat. That trailer with the 20 ribeyes for $39.
I saw that.
It's still there in front of Tractor Supply.
You bet. $1.95 a ribeye. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, wonder how old those are
or what they are.
Yeah.
Social media has made it easier to track people down. A guy who killed a 770-pound bear legally, big black bear, state record in New Jersey. He's getting all kinds of harassment online, threatening his life and everything else because he shot a bear legally.
Well, if it's legal, it's legal.
Right.
I couldn't shoot one anymore. I just couldn't do it. But has anybody ever invited you over for bear? I mean, they must eat it.
But it's it's rare because when I first got to town, I do the remote at Kurt's Saloon in Laurel for the beaver feed every year. And you could try bear and rattlesnake and mountain lion and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I noticed that event is not still going on.
Yeah.
We had a guy that listens to us that went on a bunch of bear hunts and would spend the big money and go hunt the bigger bears up in Alaska and Canada. And he always tried to get me to go with him. Oh, Mark, God, it's a rush. I said, never at any point in my history has it occurred to me to go hunt something that at some point, if things go wrong, will hunt me back, probably successfully.
Yeah, to me anymore, just to shoot something because they're large or they have a nice set of horns, I can't do it anymore. Hey, I was a young hunter once and, had buck fever and all that stuff too, but I just don't. Now, if you're
Oh, folks, just the stuff I saw Paul kill.
Oh, okay. But I mean, if you need to feed your family and stuff, I get it.
Right.
I mean, I get it. But I just can't do that anymore. I just value life too much anymore. I mean, it bothers me when I lose a calf, And it's funny. You get older, things change. But it just is.
Paul gives me crap about this all the time, and happened again this morning, complaining about the way people speed. Now, I couldn't tell if it was a guy or a gal going down my road, but I saw them coming before I pulled off on my street, so I let them out. Speed limit's 55. They're doing 35. We get out on the 312. Speed limit's 50. This guy starts doing 70.
I know. Mark,
what are you doing?
It's the same. I'll follow somebody in on the highway. And they'll be doing 65. It's 70. Uh-huh. They'll be doing 65, and you can't get around them.
Right.
You get to the heights where there's street lights, and they'll do 55 down. They'll go faster on Main in the Heights than they will on the highway.
Yeah.
I know it. See, things bother you differently as you get older. Mm-hmm. I can't even. I mean, all those videos of alligators grabbing a poor zebra and just ripping it to shreds while it's alive, and hyenas eating a wildebeest or something, and they're pulling its guts out while his head is he's still alive, flopping up and down. And I can't watch that stuff anymore. I just can't. Just can't watch it. God, I can't even. Folks, it's to the point where I can hardly even take my old cows into the stockyards anymore and drop them off and leave them. Mm-hmm. It's like when I dropped Jake off for college. I didn't want to look back.
Yeah.
Same with the cow. Cows are looking at you like, hey, what did this say? Whoa, time out. And of course, you drive by the truck that says 20 ribeyes for $39, and the cows are going, whoa, wait a minute here. But it's one of those things. It's one of those things.
Couple messages. Bear lard makes amazing pie crust. Bear meat is good. Good. You guys can all have mine. You know what I like? I like cow. Mm-hmm. Cut up in the right sizes, put in little packages. Go to Albertsons, pick mine up.
Yeah. Well, but people would never eat a dog.
Not here, no.
And they do in Asia.
Right.
And we don't eat horse, and they do. And just about every country in the world, but here. There's no way I could eat a dog. Well, there's more dogs than there is bears. Mm-hmm. I mean,
if you're looking to justify it that way, you're right.
Yeah. There's far more dogs than there is bears. Mm-hmm. But, and we talked about this the other day now with the food availability and the amount that's out there, and more efficient farmers and things like that. I mean,
well, Paul just did what Joe Biden told him to do.
That's right.
You just make more wheat.
Yeah. On June 1st, I just increased the amount of winter wheat that I was going to harvest this year, you dumbass. He is so stupid. And you know what? There's plenty of wheat around. That's why wheat went down to $4.50. There was not a world shortage. I went through a whole dissertation one day about the Ukraine and their wheat supply. They were 9th in the world. You could get rid of the Ukraine and it would make no difference in the market or the supply in world wheat.
Right.
There's so much of it around. Corn, same thing. But those people aren't in agriculture. I mentioned before, how many times have Kamala Harris or Joe Biden mentioned farmers or agriculture over the last 4 years? And you people are going to vote for them. I got some neighbor out there who's got a sign up. Here's a rural voter for Tester. And I'm thinking, how in the hell hell could you vote for him? I know what you raise.
Yeah.
He wants to tax you on the carbon from your cows and everything. How could you even think of that? And we got, on the other hand, you got Donald Trump, who's talking about doing things to help the American farmers out there, bringing your energy costs down. He wants China to buy more food from the American farmers. Have you heard that from Kamala? So I'll bet everybody that was down there at the public auction yards where they sell cattle, I bet they weren't supporting Jon Tester.
No.
And Tester should be smarter than that. He should know. He raises grains. He shouldn't be spewing the rhetoric about, oh no, the Ukraine and Joe Biden. Well, we're going to ask farmers to increase their production, right? Yeah, that was the dumbest thing. That shows you how much they understand about food production, folks. Next year's wheat crop for next year has already been planted this year now.
Right.
That's how it has to be done, outside of spring wheat or something like that. But when you have 50% of the voters out there are dumb and don't understand anything, nothing. You could ask them questions about anything and they wouldn't get it. They're voting based on social media posts
or advertisements they've seen or heard.
Yeah.
I told you about that friend of mine. He said, well, I don't know if I trust Sheehy. I said, do you not trust him because of one particular issue that you don't know you could rely on? Or do you not trust him because the ad says we can't trust him?
Yeah. I don't know about you folks, but I would trust a Navy SEAL any day. I know they got my back.
Right, no matter what.
Yes. You need a hand, you need help, I'm going to trust the Navy SEAL. It's in their DNA.
Get ready for a spooktacular October at the Roadside Event Center. Friday, October 11th, join them for Bingo, a fundraiser for Pack the Place in Pink. Get tickets now for Dueling Pianos on Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. And plan for a Halloween weekend filled with fun. The Blue Cat has fantastic food and drinks. Sushi and sliders on Sundays, Italian night Mondays, prime rib Saturdays, and loaded Bloody Marys all weekend. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, Northern Avenue in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
Article today from Associated Press on what to expect in Montana on Election Day. And this is from a guy by the name of Robert Yoon. When Montana casts ballots, they'll decide what could be the nation's marquee Senate race and could mean party control. Democrats right now control the Senate 51-49. Republicans are all but certain to pick up Joe Manchin's seat in West Virginia. A GOP win in Montana would make it difficult for Democrats to keep their majority. Jon Tester facing a tough re-election bid. 4 terms. Folks, he's been there 18 years. 18 years. And now, in his 18th year, you see all the things in his ads that he wants to try to get done. He has been there 18 years. Even John could get his room cleaned in 18 years. In Tester's past 3 races, he's won between 49 and 50% of the vote. So far this year, folks, Jon Tester has spent, since this was October 1st, this doesn't include all of October, and he is on a media blitz. 1st of October, he had spent already $71 million for a seat that pays $170,000 a year. $71 million. $11 million has been spent on Tim Sheehy, of which, by the way, Tim Sheehy has spent 20% of that is his own money to try to win. How much of Jon Tester's own money has he spent on his campaign? Does anybody know that? How come Robert Yoon didn't put that in the article? The last Democrat running for president that carried Montana was Bill Clinton in 1992. Donald Trump won in 2016, got almost 60%, and he got almost 60% in 2020. The Democratic ticket has not set foot in Montana this year. And Jon Tester skipped the Democrat National Convention, and Jon Tester has declined to endorse Kamala Harris because he is painting a fake, phony picture of himself, folks, prior to this election, will distance himself as far away from their ideology, their direction of America, what they want to do to our current country. And then, if he is elected, guess what? He is all in, 100%. He will get his bread buttered from everybody in that party. He will become wealthy, as he has in the last 18 years. He will be rewarded handsomely. But right now, he's Barry Goldwater in disguise. He's a phony. He's a fraud. Could be a nice guy. But politically, He's corrupt. He's a prostitute to the Democrat Party. That's it. You know, it's funny because in this article, they give you the information of who's on the ballot. Robert Yoon from AP, this dipwad. Key races and candidates. President. You have Harris, you have Trump, you have Robert Kennedy, you have Chase Oliver, Libertarian, and Jill Stein from the Green Party. Then when it gets to the Senate races, he lists U.S. Senator Jon Tester versus Sheehy and 2 others. They don't put the 2 others in the article because they don't want a Libertarian or Green Party candidate taking a vote away from Jon Tester. That's why Robert Yoon, the dipwad from AP, didn't put that in his article. That's why. In the 2018 midterm elections, 3/4 of the total votes cast in 2018 were all done by mail. That shot up to 98% in the 2020 election. Well, yeah, that's because of your Governor Steve Bullock.
That's right.
Who during COVID, while he was running for Senate, decided that mail-out ballots would be sent to every voter. He changed the rules. You can't do that. He did it anyway. State law allows our election officials, like here in Yellowstone County and others, they can start processing and verifying the mail ballots 3 days before Election Day. Machine counting of the ballots may begin the day before Election Day, so they can start the day before counting all those ballots. In 2020, in the Senate race, 76% of all the votes have been tabulated by 2 a.m. in the morning, 86% by 6 a.m. Now, down in Florida, they have all theirs counted by midnight, and they have millions upon millions and millions of votes to count. Here in Montana, we'll count, 400,000 votes, 500,000, and we can't get it done. They didn't mention, Robert Yoon didn't mention last time Jon Tester ran for election, they stopped the counting at midnight in Missoula.
You're the only news outlet that still covers that.
Because the election administrator, whoever it was at the time, probably knew what the count was and decided to let her poor little crew go home at midnight to get some rest and then come back in the morning and they would restart the process. In statewide elections, Republicans tend to carry the populous counties of Yellowstone County and Flathead County by comfortable margins. Democrats, though, carry 6 counties, usually. Missoula, Deer Lodge, others. Missoula's population is currently 117,000. 2 Democrats who won statewide in recent elections, Tester in 18 and Governor Bullock in 16, carried 13 counties. That was it. That's all they carried. We got 56 counties. They carried 13. So that means there are 43 counties in the state of Montana that did not want Jon Tester and did not want Steve Bullock, but they were forced to capitulate because the 13 more populous carried them. And that's why we have the Electoral College in the United States, folks. Right. That very reason. You watch after this election. You watch the map that's red and blue across America, and you will see, even if they break it down by county, you'll see all of the red counties all around America, and the map is almost all red, except for Philly, Chicago, New York, L.A., places like that. And the founders knew that America would have no say or would not be represented unless they went to the Electoral College. And Jon Tester knows in his back pocket and in his mind, and he won't tell you now, that if they get control, they're going to get rid of the Electoral College. And Jon Tester will vote for that because he is anatomically connected to Chuck Schumer, folks. Guess what part? Guess what part he's hooked to, Wilson? Would you like to take a guess?
The trailer hitch.
Well, he's hooked. Lewis and Clark County and Cascade County. Jon Tester and Bullock carried them with 60% of the vote. Biden received 47% of the vote in those counties. When Bullock lost the Senate race to Steve Daines, he hung on to Lewis and Clark County, but he lost Cascade County. He also lost in Hill County, Lake County, Park counties, and, folks, he lost big in Yellowstone County. There is a voice in Yellowstone County, a couple of them, and in this whole region. Recounts are automatic in Montana if a vote is tied. Candidates may request if the vote margin is less than 0.25%. And candidates can also probably request that they stop counting at midnight until they can get some more votes in by morning. Who knows? We'll never know what happened there. Last election, Trump got 57% of the vote. Biden got 41. There are 782,000 registered voters in Montana. Voter turnout in Montana in 2020 was 80%.
Holy cow.
80%. That's big. So, we'll see what happens here. Because in 2020, it was mail-out ballot. So we'll see what happens this year with... but 98%, and that's because Bullock just decided that's the way it's going to be. And that is 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today. That's it. 14 days, and then it's all over, finally. 14 days. And we're only, 90 days from the Flakes trip.
Get ready for a spooktacular October at the Roadside Event Center. Friday, October 11th, join them for Bingo, a fundraiser for Pack the Place in Pink. Get tickets now for Dueling Pianos on Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. And plan for a Halloween weekend filled with fun. The Blue Cat has fantastic food and drinks. Sushi and sliders on Sundays, Italian night Mondays, prime rib Saturdays, and loaded Bloody Marys all weekend. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, Northern Avenue in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
And we're only about 12 days away from our big party coming up at the Roadside Event Center. More cards are going out as we speak.
Got this message yesterday. Good morning, Mark. My mailman said his route takes an hour and a half longer because of political flyers. And I say I don't doubt it.
Oh, I don't doubt that either. You get them every day now. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we retire this gig, Wilson. We may have to set up down there in Ocumall and start visiting the schools like we did here so many years ago when we did all of our school lunch visits.
Right.
Remember we did that for 6 years or so in a row? Make sure the kids are getting good food at the schools and inspect the kitchens. News article today, schools down in Mexico have 6 months to implement now a government-sponsored ban on junk food or face heavy fines.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Trying to get the junk food out of Mexico, out of their schools. Remember how excited you used to get in school for lunch when you were either having tacos or pizza? I wonder down in Mexico if the kids, since they get it all the time, get excited when they're having cheeseburgers. Oh.
Well, something out of the ordinary for them,
yeah,
probably.
It's Cheeseburger Wednesday.
Right.
You know, they get an American dish. Yep. The rules were published on September the 30th. And I'm looking here for the article. I printed it up, the more expanded version of the article. Targeting products that have become staples for 2 or 3 generations of Mexican school kids. For instance, sugary fruit drinks sold in those triangular cardboard cartons, chips, artificial pork rinds, and soy-encased salty peanuts with chili. School administrators who violate the order will face fines of between $545 and $5,500 that could actually double for the second offense. And that would mean almost a year's wages for some of them.
Wow.
According to the UN Children's Fund, which labeled child obesity in Mexico now a national emergency, children have the highest consumption of junk food in Latin America. And kids are getting 40% of all of their calorie intake from junk food.
Wow.
Now, here's the thing that surprises me. Because Latin American countries, South American countries, places like Mexico, they tend to be poor nations. Mm-hmm. And junk food is the most expensive food. So the poorer of the nations are eating the most expensive food. 40% of all their calorie intake, though, is coming from junk food. Obesity kills, folks. It just does. You know it. I know people hate talking about it because it affects almost everyone. But,
well, and
And starting at such a young age.
Nobody that's overweight is sitting there right now going, he's not talking about me.
Exactly.
People know.
Yeah. A lot of it I blame the doctors because doctors, I've got medical people in my family, a lot of them, and doctors are reluctant to talk about it with their patients. Mm-hmm. They know it offends them. They know they don't want to hear the truth. And if they're doing their patients a disservice by not trying to talk to them about it and try to get a little handle on it. At least become somewhat healthier. A survey of 10,000 schools down in Mexico that they did between 2023 and 24 found that junk food was available in 98% of those 10,000 schools. Sugary drinks and soft drinks were available in 79% of them. And even the ads for junk food were found in 25% of all the schools. Claudia Sheinbaum, she's the new president of Mexico. Good for her. She's the one bringing this up. Now, you may recall, folks, even though she was a big full-time Democrat, I praised Michelle Obama for trying to fix the diets and the menus and the food that was available to our children in our schools. Right. She was very health conscious, and I was glad that she was taking on that role. And of course, it was met with opposition. Sheinbaum said, look, it's much better to eat a bean taco than a bag of potato chips, and it's much better to drink hibiscus flower water than soda. Mexico has 255,000 schools. So I don't know how long it would take us, Mark, to visit those and present them with plaques, but
we're going to have to streamline our inspection process.
Dick and Peggy, if you're still alive at Western Awards.
I think the kids have got the business.
Oh,
now.
do they?
Yeah.
We're going to need 255,000 plaques by Thursday.
Jeez.
Yeah. A lot of those schools don't even have free drinking water. The effort to install drinking fountains succeeded in 10,900 of their schools, but that's only 4%. Many of the schools in the areas are so poor and remote, they struggle to maintain acceptable bathrooms, even internet connection, or even electricity. But yet, see, they're poor, but they are buying the junk food. Mexico instituted front-of-the-package warning labels for foods between 2010 and 2020 to advise consumers about the levels of salt, sugar, calories, saturated fats. Some of the foods they're eating carry all 4 of the warning labels. Under these new rules, schools are going to have to phase out any product that has at least one of those warning labels from their snack stands. Now, it's not clear how the government's going to enforce it because outside of the schools, vendors set up tables of goods and they sell it to all the kids during recess. 77% of all the 255,000 schools have those snack stands set up outside of their schools. So they're only adding fuel to the fire there. But they got to try to get a handle on the obesity with the kids down there in Mexico, which is where you got to start. It's where all this stuff has to start. Look, the Democrats learned it years ago. Why don't they implement it for health? They understood years ago if we can change their minds, if we can indoctrinate and brainwash them, we can turn them into little liberal Democrats at a very, very young age and carry them then the rest of their life. So why don't they use that influential age to teach smart eating, healthy habits, things like that? They can. It's easier to teach, just like foreign language. You know, if you learn a foreign language when you're 4 and 5 years old, start there, and 6, you pick it up like nothing. But it's a problem down in Mexico. I'm not sure we can make all 255,000 schools, though.
We had trouble. Well, here was the thing.
Every year
we had trouble getting to them because and we didn't go to all the building schools, but all the outlying schools we went to, we take the station vehicle, which may or may not have gas in it. And then I remember one year, it had been a bad winter, so we took all the close visits first.
I know.
And then the weather broke at us. Like, we got Harlow and Colstrip and
Gardner.
All these all-day trips.
I know it. Oh, my God. But we did it.
Yeah.
Well, we leave in 90 days. And by the way, if you travel to New Zealand, they want you to keep your emotional farewells brief. They've got a new 3-minute time limit imposed on goodbye hugs in the airport's drop-off area.
Get out of my life.
Well, the reason they're doing it is because it's causing traffic problems. Max hug time 3 minute signs are outside the terminal now. If you would like a fonder farewell, go to the airport airport parking lot instead of the drop-off point at the curb or right by the building. Now, we've all seen that. Mm-hmm. We're sitting there waiting to pull in to unload the luggage, and here comes the Brady Bunch. Mm-hmm. Just happens to be on the day that you're traveling, and they're lining up, and they're hugging and kissing and all this. They're only going to be gone 3 days. And it's carrying on and on and on, and they're having a problem. So, of course, social media got on this. The airport guy said, look, they're accusing us of breaching basic human rights, and how dare we limit how long somebody can have a hug. He said, we're not. We're limiting how long you can have a hug in the drop-off area of the airport. There's all kinds of signs at all over airports, different signs about don't leave your car,
right.
Drop-off area only, all kinds of stuff to try to expedite that. We've all seen it. We've all been there. I get it. Their airport in this one city, same size city as Billings, about 135,000. 3 minutes. Plenty of time. Pull up, get your bag out, say goodbye, and move on. 3 minutes. 3 minutes is a long time. It's about as long as the song Gentle on My Mind. God, you ought to be able to get your bag out and hug during the whole song, Wilson. Right? 3 minutes.
Theoretically, yes.
3 minutes. God, Wilson can make love in less than 3 minutes. So much
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Fast and efficient.
Yeah, damn right.
Oh, you're welcome.
That's right. Much less have to unload bags, give a hug. 3 minutes is nothing. 3 minutes is nothing. Visitors might be asked if their lingering embraces continue. You can park right across the drop-off point, free of charge, in the parking lot for up to 15 minutes if it takes you that long. There, just like Billings, there's a parking short-term right across. I mean, it is right across the street from the drop-off point.
Right.
It's going to take you a while. That little cowboy boyfriend of yours is on his way to Casper. There's a team roping down there, and you show up, and he's leaving, and oh God, I gotta visit. And he can barely get his arms around you to hug you. What are you laughing at?
You don't miss many, but you missed this one.
I did?
Yeah. If you're a team roper, buddy, you ain't flying.
That's true. That's a good point. She's driving you there. Isn't she, Mark?
That's exactly.
She's going to use her car to drive you there.
Well, I got Mama's pickup.
I love Cody so much. Oh, my God. That's right, folks. You get the damn truth here.
Not everybody's cup of tea, and we don't care.
That's right. That's why we say you get the damn truth. Fair, accurate, and you get the damn truth. We got a bunch of that coming up for you here in a minute.
All right, first news on the way, 6:12.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Events Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.